Observe the men around you. Most of them are unremarkable and completely uninteresting. It's very rare to come across another man who isn't hunched over, staring at his phone, or who is too awkward to make eye contact with others. But every once in a while, there will be that man who stands out from the crowd, who is absolutely present, whose energy is radiant and full of warmth, who's not only intriguing, but who's also intrigued with others, who makes even the least of us feel important and valued. He's the man most men wish to be like. He's the man young people strive to be. And he's the man a father and mother dream their daughter of marrying. People crave to be in his presence and desire to be known by him. So how can you become like him? How do you develop yourself into a man that people adore and crave to be around? Number 1. Never cast your pearls before swine. Let's make this very clear. Before you become a man that people crave to be around, you must first understand this one thing. I want you to imagine this. Imagine you started a YouTube channel. Let's say you were a movie buff and you created your very first film review. So you uploaded the video, you created a catchy title, and then you started typing in the tags. But just before you do, you think to yourself, how can I reach a wider audience? So instead of sticking to movie-related tags, you decide to tag unrelated topics, such as cooking, comedy, relationship advice, world history, science, and even astrology. Thinking to yourself, my video is going to reach so many more people. But listen, even though your video may be exposed to a wider audience, do you really think these viewers will spend even a second watching your content? Of course not. And here's where the lesson hits home. You might have the best video in the world, but a viewer who's uninterested in film will find absolutely no value. No value in it. So in the same manner, you as a man cannot immerse yourself in environments that find no value in you. All you will be doing is casting your precious pearls upon swine. And the second they get a taste, just like the pigs, they will spit you out. Look at Andrew Tate, for instance. Half the world appreciates him, while the other half demonizes him. Half of the women look at him in complete awe, while the other half label him a misogynist. So be aware, be prepared, and remember, when you are truly a high-value individual, you'll attract both admiration and envy. You will have people who adore you and people who despise you. So having thick skin is crucial in this journey. If your goal is to be liked by everyone, you will end up being the one who doesn't like you. Number 2. Emit warmth. Warmth is single-handedly the most important trait to creating an alluring presence. It makes even the toughest, most intimidating-looking man approachable and welcoming. A man who exudes warmth has very infectious energy, and it can easily spread like wildfire. People crave to be around the man who's warm. Why? Because he listens more than he speaks. He uplifts and encourages more than he boasts. He highlights people's strengths rather than their flaws. He's quick to forgive and slow to anger. He's patient and he's kind. And at the end of the day, he understands that most people grow by grace and not by shame. When it comes down to it, his spirit is rooted in love. My brother, there is a reason why Jesus' last words to his disciples were this: "As I have loved you, so should you love one another." Listen to my words. Nothing is more powerful than a man who is mighty, yet full of love and warmth. And Jesus was a perfect representation of this. That's why my prayer every day is, Lord, help me to become more like you and less like me. I've noticed in recent years that though the red pill community is very positive and helpful, it has also forgotten what it means to be warm and full of love. Many red pill influencers focus so heavily on the message of grit and strength, which is an important message. But even more important than that is love and warmth. We cannot forget this. We cannot forget to love thy neighbor and pray for those who persecute us. But don't get it twisted. Warmth is not a passive, spineless behavior. There's a balance between strength and warmth. Remember this, my brother. There is a time to tear apart and a time to mend. A time to be silent and a time to speak. A time to love and a time to hate. And a time for war and a time for peace. Number 3. Forgive yourself of your past sins. Many of us men carry the weight of self-hate and unforgiveness towards ourselves. And we live our entire lives in an emotional prison that darkens our light and reduces our warmth. Listen, brother, you can't love others if you can't love yourself. And when you rob yourself of this love, you are robbing the world from the best version of you. So many men believe the lie that they don't deserve to be forgiven. They don't deserve to smile again. They don't deserve to be free from their past and move forward to an amazing new life. Listen, my friend. You cannot be your best, most radiant self until you've forgiven yourself of your past sins. There's a scene in my favorite movie, Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers, when the king of Rohan fell into a deep depression after the death of his only son. During this time, the king's chief counselor, Wormtongue, began to poison him by whispering evil words and thoughts into his ears. The king eventually became possessed and he looked unrecognizable. Finally, they banished Wormtongue and Gandalf broke the spell over the king and he became radiant once again. So what can us men learn from this scene? Don't allow your past sins to poison your mind like Wormtongue had done to the king. Don't allow the evil words and reminders of your sin to destroy your warmth and radiance. Be like the king and banish the Wormtongue that is trying to poison your mind. Forgive yourself of your sins. Move forward into the plan God has for you. And anytime Wormtongue tries to slither his way back into your mind, tell him he is not allowed in your kingdom. Tell him to flee and never come back. Number 4. Have a calm presence. Many men believe that the only way to be liked by people is to be exceptionally outgoing and possess an extreme sense of humor. But most of the time, when you force this kind of behavior, it comes off as obnoxious and insincere. Almost as if you are trying to sell something. And nobody likes a salesman. So the very best thing you can do as a man is lean back and relax into yourself. Don't try to be something you are not. Breathe from your nuts. Keep your tone relaxed and your energy calm. But listen, being calm doesn't mean being emotionless. It means getting rid of the over-the-top or insincere behaviors. Remember, simplicity is key. If you feel like you have nothing to say, don't say it. Embracing silence and giving someone a gentle smile can be just as powerful. Number 5. Drop your ego. Nobody likes a man who puts himself on a pedestal. Proverbs 16:18 says, "Pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall." Nothing is more powerful than a mighty man with a humble presence who can admit when he is wrong. The problem is most men have a very difficult time apologizing and admitting their unjust behavior because it feels cringy or makes them feel inferior. But do not believe this lie, my brother. Remember, it was pride that turned the angels into demons. So the more humble and human you are, the more people will be able to connect with you and look to you as a role model. If you want to join the Brotherhood, please hit the subscribe button and notifications bell. Remember, brother, you were built to beast.